We just saw 2 restaurants in Fargo closed over the last couple of days, some of them beloved by some people, and one of the reasons that they closed up was they said they could not fill positions, so they had to close. They had no choice. There are stories all over the place of businesses only doing half business, maybe just takeaway at the curb, maybe just delivery because they can't find enough workers, et cetera, et cetera. You know, there is maybe there's a solution out there, and that's hiring people with disabilities. After all, it's all about ability and not disability. And to tell us more about this is Tova Sherman. Tova is a co-founder and CEO of Reachability, a nonprofit organization dedicated to enriching and empowering people with disabilities. She started a multi-million-dollar philanthropic venture with just a desk and her phone, and it's because she's fearless. And she's joining us from the Atlantic Playground of Nova Scotia. She's in Halifax today. Hi, Tova. Welcome.
Well, hello, Dan, and hello, everyone listening to the 104.7 Drive.
Well, thank you very much. So record that, Polly. We got to use that as a promo.
Oh, I got it.
Tova Sherman. Tova, you do a lot of speaking. You do TED Talks, which is not easy. That tells me you must be very entertaining when you speak. 25 years of experience in diversity and inclusion, and you say employers are missing out on the magic bullet.
Well, you know, it's so interesting to me because for over 25 years, as you've mentioned, I've not only been working in the field of trying to explain to leaders how win-win-win it is to actually include people with disabilities. You were just mentioning in the lead-in, Dan, all about the fact that we have a shortage in terms of our talent pool. We need a larger talent pool. We need to look at untapped markets, and we need to fill roles because that's how we make business and that's how the community goes round. And the truth be told, that all statistics and studies are showing, despite a desire and an interest in including people with disabilities, unfortunately, it's still not really happening.
And thus the question, why? Why is there a disconnect? Why isn't this happening? Is there a fear out there?
Well, I like to, again, just refer to all the studies so you're not just thinking it's my opinion. But really, the truth be told, it's around bias. And let me explain. I'm not talking about somebody who's saying, I'm going to really not want that person here. I'm talking more about what we call unconscious bias. Bias that is there basically just built because of the information you've received throughout the years. And there's no better example of bias than that of persons with disabilities. Every one of your listeners, if they were to think about where they learned about disability, I mean, that first time, was it a whisper in the household? Was it a giggle? Was it some situation in the schoolyard? Not a nice place. Trust me, I have a disability. It was not a fun place. And further to that, you say, well, was it a movie of the week? Or maybe my boyfriend, Anderson Cooper, he doesn't know we're dating yet, but my boyfriend, Anderson Cooper, might be talking on the news about this, situation. But it's never a story about the bipolar dad with 3 kids, 2 jobs, doing okay, because those aren't the stories we report. So bias is inherent in our very thinking.
Yep, and that's exactly correct. And so we got to get over that fact, by the way, we're talking this afternoon with Tova Sherman, and we're talking today, she's the founder and CEO of Reachability, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to enriching and empowering people with disabilities. We're talking about hiring people with disabilities to fill the employment or employee gap at your business and what the problem is about not quite being able to get there. I've known a lot of people with disabilities that have become a favorite employee in lots of circumstances. They are instantly loyal to their employer. I mean, they're really gems to have on the staff.
Well, Dan, let's be honest. When you've lived the life of a person with disability, and I'll use myself as an example, I'm on the ADHD spectrum, which is, I like to say, it's like a rainbow without all the color. You've got the mild, and right in the middle of the rainbow where it peaks, you've got the medium, and then at the other end, severe. I happen to be severe on the ADHD spectrum, which a lot of people don't tell you is comorbid or comes with a lot of anxiety and depression. So you have to manage both. So here's a great example. People see you, you're a little bit different. I've got a good personality. I like to think I'm funny, but maybe, it's a little much for people. So you're often passed over. And as people with disabilities, we're often passed over, which is why you see this level of grateful, Dan. Let's be real. I'm grateful you took a chance on me. I'm grateful you overcame your bias that has you thinking of disability as a medical problem. We are broken, needing to be fixed, rather than just a reality, something we deal with. And then honestly, Dan, I'll be frank with you, and I hope everyone is thinking about this who's listening right now. Really, we will all have, or will have a disability. So who exactly are we excluding? Ourselves, maybe our children, the people we love the most? The sooner we get over and acknowledge this bias exists, and it does. I'm not just coming up with it. All the studies show it. And as soon as we do that, we'll be able to be what I call disability confident, meaning not freaked out because somebody has a disability and avoiding them rather than including them.
Tova,
that's huge.
That is huge, and it's going to be a thing to get over. And I hope individuals will take that leap and check into it. So let's talk about taking that step and moving in the right direction and filling those employee roles at your business with maybe somebody who's got a disability. You talk about key strategies for hiring and retaining people with disabilities. What's your advice to employers?
Well, the first thing I always say, and I have a lot of sayings. I mean, the book that I just published, Win, 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 the 18 inclusionisms you need to become a disability confident employer. I know it's a mouthful, but that's probably the longest part of the whole book, is really just a reference of 18 of my best strategies. And one of my absolute favorites is the fish stinks from the head. Now, okay, Dan, I'm on the Atlantic coast. Maybe that's a maritimer thing, but I really do believe it starts at the top. If it is not truly honored, it is not truly engaged by, it is not truly integrated into the company that's doing the hiring, all of the middle management, especially around the HR department, are feeling like you've just thrown an add-on. There's nothing add-on about inclusion. You're growing your talent pool. There's a win. The person who's a great person, as you said, Dan, incredible employee, gets a job and sticks it out. That's a win. The coworkers see diversity around them and inclusion and creativity and problem solving. That's another win. And then there's the community who sees them self-reflected. I mean, that's why I call the book Win, 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 because there's at least 3 wins for any business who includes persons with disabilities in their talent pool. That doesn't mean you should hire them because it feels good. I still say right person, right job. But if you've limited your talent pool only to people you're comfortable around because they speak like you and look like you and came from your neighborhood, then you are already missing out on innovation and creativity. And let's be honest, the future is in the brain economy.
Tova Sherman is joining us. She's Canada's smartest person. She is.
I didn't win. I would have said that way sooner about the Canada's Smartest Person game show. I was on it, but I did not win.
What place did you end up in?
I think I was third after the music. You had to remember a tune, and I'm not musical.
Hey, third smartest person in Canada with us right now.
Oh, God, yeah.
She's co-founder and CEO of Reachability, a nonprofit organization dedicated to enriching and empowering people with disabilities. So, how about being different but not difficult? Talk about that.
All right. So one of my inclusionisms, and thank you, is people with disabilities are different, not difficult. Because I think one of those biases, one of those unconscious thought processes that's going through a lot of people, because they say to me, Tova, I want to do this. I just don't know if my place is ready for them. I don't want them to have any problems. I don't want the team to be upset that I put them in the corner because they need natural light because they're legally blind, whatever it is, right? So these are the things that stop people from actually creating an innovative workplace. It's so frustrating because what we're saying is, I don't want to even know what I've got to do. Because let me tell you a little secret. There's a person with disability who requires accommodation that hasn't been accommodating themselves for a lot longer than you've known them, which is like an interview. So the first thing you want to do as a hiring and retaining strategy is simply ask them how they manage it in the workplace. what would they require? And what you will find very quickly is the majority of persons with disabilities in the workplace have what they need, whether it's something as simple as an ergonomic chair, or maybe it's a special task light. Perhaps it's just asking you, which, by the way, 65% of accommodations in North America relate specifically to flexibility. Can I get up from my chair and stretch? Can I take a quick break? Can I, whatever it is, I have Crohn's, can I go to the bathroom more often? You know, I mean, these are such minor things. And again, because we've got this mindset about disability being these extremes and disability being a medical problem rather than just a reality of, you know, we work with it. We're wired differently. I always say with cognitive disability, which is, by the way, the number one disability, people think, oh, well, I put a ramp in, my God, how much more, you know, accommodating can I be? The answer is you can remove all the architectural barriers in the world. But I've got to be honest, Dan, it's the attitudinal ones that are really messing with us right now and keeping us out of the workforce.
You can, as an employer, there are several different organizations in the metro area you can reach out to and start going down this road so you can fill in your employee roles with people with disabilities. Remember, it's about ability and not disability. Tova, how do we get your book? Your book is called Win, Win, Win. How do we get your book?
Well, I'm on Amazon.com or at www.reachability.org if you want to get directly one of the nicer hard copies, but they're available on Amazon.com. You just have to write the word win, 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 and my name, Tova, Tova Sherman, like the tank, and you will get the book. And let me tell you something. This is a book you want to give to anyone who's in an environment where you know they're a good person, you know they want to do the right thing, they're just not sure where to start. And we'll give you 18 places, including we give you a practice, meaning with every saying, not only an explanation, but a way to put it in practice right now in your office so you don't have to think too hard. You just got to believe.
What labor shortage? Small businesses missing untapped talent with people with disabilities. Tova Sherman joining us this afternoon. She's talking to us, you know, before we got on the air, we didn't want to be a bummer or anything, but Halifax, Nova Scotia is where, you know, when the Titanic sank, the ship went out and recovered the bodies, and a lot of them got buried in the Halifax cemetery there, and so therefore it was nicknamed the City of Lost Souls. But you like to go by what, the playground of the Atlantic? Is that what you said it was?
We call it the Atlantic Playground because there's a lot of ocean, a lot of water, and a lot of fun.
Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Tova, thanks so very much for joining us this afternoon. Hope you have a wonderful evening.
And you too, Dan, and to all of the listeners in Fargo, I'm sending my very best.
Thanks, Tova. You have a wonderful evening.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Boy, she's a special person, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Her name is Tova Sherman, and she is CEO of, I've had it right in front of me here, and I've lost it.
Founder and CEO of Reachability.
Thank you very much,
You're
Polly.
welcome.
Polly to the rescue. 424, you're listening to The Drive on the Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO.
You're listening to The Drive with Dan Michaels.